Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have the continuation of our story where our dear sister talked to us about what a pastor she trusted took her through. We dive into her life with the pastor and even after leaving the pastor in this episode. It is a story of manipulation, control, and the emotional journey of a woman who seeks spiritual help but finds herself trapped in a dangerous web of this sinister pastor. Well, this is a mind-blowing revelation of our sister who shared with us her painful life journey. Please, if you haven't watched that episode, I will link it in the pop-up card on the video so you can as well watch it after you finish with this one. Without taking much of your time, let us now go into what our sister has for us today. I plead with you to please subscribe if you haven't done so, and also do like and share this video, so others out there can also benefit from this conversation. And also hit the notification bell, so you will be notified anytime we upload videos.
He told me that, in order to truly become a vessel for the divine, I must be willing to surrender my physical self completely. This ritual, he told me that, it would sever the last ties that bound me to the physical world and allow me to ascend spiritually even to greater heights. He said that, the offering was symbolic. The act would show my total submission to the divine, and it would prepare me also for the higher spiritual path he had promised. He told me that I would be purified through the ritual, and only then could I achieve enlightenment. To tell you the honest truth, I felt powerless to refuse. He led me into the inner sanctum of the church. A room that was unlike any I had seen before. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, and in the center of the room stood a stone altar. Inside the room, he instructed me to lie on the altar, where I would be reborn. That is exactly what he said to me. With each step, I felt a growing sense of dread, but I was too far gone to turn back. With the ritual precision, he told me that he was going to anoint my entire body and as such, he should remove my clothes. I agreed and went fully naked on the altar. He started rubbing the oil on my body from head to toe. The he smelled pungent, almost unnatural. As he did so, he spoke words that made my skin crawl. You see, it was now that I have come to understand that, the oils, though seemingly benign, were part of a larger spell that would dull my senses and make my body an instrument of his control. At the climax of the ritual, he placed his hands on my chest, in between my two breasts, whispering something into my ears. He asked me to give him my body in the form of an intimate offering, explaining that true spiritual unity could only be achieved through complete surrender, mind, body, and soul. Brother, a grown-up woman like me as you see sitting right here in front of you, feeling deeply entranced by his influence and unable to see beyond his control, I agreed without question. So, this man supposes to be someone who knows that engaging in acts like this is not really holy. He had intimacy with me on his altar. After this final submission, I felt both powerful and powerless at the same time. I had crossed a line I could never undo, and yet, there was a strange emptiness inside me that I couldn't ignore. You see, I did not feel the protection. Instead, I felt exposed, as if I had been stripped of everything that once defined me as a person. When the ritual ended, I felt weaker, hollowed out. I could no longer distinguish my own thoughts from the ones he fed me. I had been reduced to a mere shadow of myself, my identity swallowed up by the pastor's dark influence. You see, one thing I came to realize is that, I was not the only lady he was engaged in these kinds of acts with. I saw with my own eyes several ladies going in and out of his special office that he took me to. And the whole thing is that, he does this in your face, and there is nothing that you can say about it. He knew what he has done to us, and so he never bothered about you seeing or finding out about him and any other lady. This was one of his evil ways to exert his power over me and the other ladies, drawing us deeper into his web of manipulation and control. My brother, I really feel sad for all the women who are in the church. He has done with both the married women and the single ones as well. Yes, he is a married man with kids. What they do that people don't realize is that he will marry alright. But at the end of the day, they will still go about doing what they have set their minds to do. The women that these kinds of pastors do marry are just something they call trophy wives. They are just for the outside world to have a sense of respect for them. Because in our part of the world, you know how much we have that kind of perception about people in the ministry who are married. For such reason, you wouldn't think they will even think of such act. But behind the scenes, they will be engaging and sleeping with women right and center. No, it wasn't once that he slept with me. The thing is that, when you go through the rituals, you are no longer of yourself. So, anytime he calls you for such things, it is more like something is pushing you to go and satisfy his fantasies. I was in the church for almost 4 years or so. And throughout all these periods, he has been doing with me and not only me. There are other ladies and married women, like I said. His manipulation deepened more and more to a point where he made me to believe that his presence was the only thing keeping me from being consumed by the world's evil. He would tell me that I had been marked for greatness, but only through complete obedience to him could I achieve my true potential. It got to a stage where my relationships with others started to falter. I had stopped speaking to my old friends, convinced that they were distractions. I even began to isolate myself from my family, believing they didn't understand the divine path I was walking. His influence grew stronger, and his control over me became more evident. He would appear unexpectedly, showing up at my door at all hours, claiming that he needed to guide me through moments of confusion. Every time he did, I would get this strange feeling of needing a man to enter me, which he will end up having his way with me. Brother, my sense of free will seemed to diminish further and further. I was no longer the woman I had been when I first entered the church. I was now a mere reflection of his desires, a tool in his spiritual arsenal. What happened that I left his church and everything that had to do with him was that, I remember one evening, he didn't call me and he came to my place and met this guy who eventually became my husband. He didn't say anything that time, but then, the next time he saw me, he just raised his hand on me. He landed it in my face. And I honestly do not know what came over me. I told him right there in his face that he will never set his eyes on me again. He laughed at me when I said that. He told me that I will still come back begging him, so I shouldn't even bother to go. But I left him right there and I never looked back. That was me leaving the church. But even after leaving the church, sometime during my sleep, I will feel like wanting to go back to him in such a strong force. Brother, I have suffered in this life. It led me into sleeping with me. Because I had told myself that I wouldn't go back to him. When it starts like that, I will go to some of the guys that as a lady knows they like me and then get it done with him. Because of whatever the man seeded in me, if I should tell you the kind of men who have seen my nakedness, you will cry for me. It was during one of such moments that I wanted someone to sleep with me that I went to Kelvin, who later became my husband. I wanted us to do it so I can be free. But he was able to resist me and locked me in his room, till the next day. He took me to someone he said could help me come out of such problem. And that is where I met this special woman, who has been so instrumental for my recovery and my process of redemption. She made me leave my place. Gave it up for Ren to live with her so she can have a total control of what I do. I must tell you, this journey was not easy for me. But we will get there. Months passed, and Kelvin told me that he wanted me to be his wife if only I will agree to it. He was such a nice person to me, and throughout my healing process, he has been so much help to me. I felt if I marry and I feel the urge to even go and do it, I will be doing it with my husband. And so, I agreed to his proposal and we told our mother. At first, she didn't like the idea, and she insisted we take our time. Even if we wanted to settle down, we should take time. But I didn't want to have any of that. I was tired of sleeping with other men. And also having such urge and not getting any man. Eventually, he agreed to our decision and I found myself married to a kind and loving man. I had hoped that a family would heal the brokenness and the struggle within me, but the dark powers the pastor had unleashed within me never fully faded. When we first married, he was into a construction business. Someone who had workers under him. He had about 12 workers who were on his payroll. Things started coming down for him in terms of business. My brother, because of me, what my husband has been through is not normal. And sometimes, I am shocked as to why he is still with me. To be very honest with you, I have this fear that he will wake up one day and tell me that he can't do it anymore. Because he has lost all his clients and he has no business to go to anymore. You see, how we got to even realize that it was as a result of what the pastor had done to me that is causing the problems for him is that there is this woman pastor who also do have the gift to see. She had come to visit my now mother. My husband had come to the place because we were planning on something together with our mother. When the woman saw Kelvin, she didn't know I was the wife. She told Kelvin that, you have married a woman and that is the reason why your business and everything has gone down for you. She said there are darker forces following her. That was when Kelvin told her that I was his wife. She got up and walked straight to where I was. She held my hand and asked me to come sit with her. Brother, I was in tears. I knew Kelvin was going to walk out of my life. This woman said that, whatever she wants to say, she will want to say it in front of everyone, including our mother. So, she came down to the living room. This woman started by saying that I carry the chains of a pastor's influence. And the kind of power and dark influence he has over me is so strong that, anytime I make love to my husband, they take something valuable from him. This is to frustrate him, so he can leave me. And for him to still be with me, that is why they have caused his business to collapse. It made me realize that, though I had escaped his physical grasp, I had never truly broken free from the emotional and spiritual hold he had placed on me. Kelvin went on his knees in front of the woman and pleaded with her to help. He asked her to free me from whoever has control over me. Because he has no plans of walking away from my life. She told us that it is not an easy fight. But with the Lord on our side, everything will be alright. She said the most important thing is to believe in the Lord Most High for a miracle. And she will also do her best for me. Each step I have taken together with my mothers and husband has brought me closer to reclaiming my life, my autonomy, and my sense of self. Brother, I know I would never fully forget the scars left by my time under this pastor's influence. I know that the power to change my life is finally in my own hands. And having this support and love from my new family, I know I will reach my final destination.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. First of all, what I want to say is that there are so many pastors out there who claim to speak for God, but how do you know where their power comes from? This is not to say all pastors are doing these things and are not from God. That is not what we want to communicate. All we seek to do is to bring the awareness to you by bringing you these conversations, so that you can make your own informed choices out of the messages shared here. I want to ask something. How do you know that the miracles they perform, the healing they claim, aren't powered by something else? The truth is, many people blindly follow these so-called men of God without ever questioning the source of their powers. They trust them with their lives, their families and even their souls. But just because someone wears a robe and speaks in front of a congregation, doesn't mean their power is divine. Don't put all your trust in pastors or leaders just because of their charisma or reputation. Ask questions. Seek the truth. My thing has always been that, you as the follower deserves to know what you're truly following. In this world where shadows linger alongside light, may we all find our way forward, guided by truth and compassion for ourselves and others. Like I said in our previous episode, my heart aches for those who place their trust in men, believing they are receiving blessings from above when, in truth, they are entangled in a web of darkness. The line between good and evil can blur in our quest for power and recognition. I hope that this will be a lesson etched in the hearts of those who dare to tread the fine line between faith and fanaticism. In the end, this reminds us that while faith can uplift us, it can also lead us down dark paths if we are not careful about whom we choose to follow. If you're in a situation where something doesn't feel right, trust your instincts. And if you're part of a church where you feel like something is wrong, don't be afraid to speak up. The truth will set you free. Don't wait until it's too late. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. And always question the source of power before you place your trust in it. This platform is for us to learn that not everything that claims to be light is light. Be careful where you place your trust. And also seek to associate yourself with genuine people of light. If you've ever been in a similar situation, or if you feel something's not right in your church or community, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more true stories, because sometimes, the scariest things aren't the ones we see, they're the ones we don't.